It was just a mission. When y'all started the brand, I got it. I'll go along with it. But before then, it was just a mission. It didn't have a brand. The brand is the mission. And so when they said, well, Lawrence, if you tell people that you go through things, what are they going to do? They're following. I said, no, they need to know that this. I'm holier than thou. I'm next to God. Nothing. I'm doing nothing. I don't have issues. I don't have extremely hard issues, but yeah, I live in this planet. Yeah, I have some issues that I have to. I go out in the world. I'm in Texas. I'm in Texas. Of course, there's a resistance to what I do, and I have to handle it. You know, I always stay balanced, but I'm not going to tell you that. Oh well, I just think of everyone's of love and light, and nothing penetrates it. No, I work in a collective. Those people that want to lead people and be away from people. To me, I never got. How are you leading a group of people that you're not even associated with? You don't even have the same situation. You're telling them something that you're going through, but they're not going through it because you're not associated with them. When I'm telling you that this is what you're going through, because I've been through it. It doesn't mean I ain't gonna go through it again, but I've been through it. You know. Sometimes we just. One thing my 15 years of professional work in this field. One thing people will tell you, Lawrence will be real with you. He'll be real with it. He'll be real with a whole bunch of other mediums and psychics that are channeling and they're doing all this other stuff. But I'll just turn to you like an American and say, "This is what the hell this is." Who I loved, that I admired for doing that, and maybe she did mold me in a certain way. Sylvia Brown. Sylvia Brown would turn and tell your ass the truth. She would turn to you, and she's just thing with her tongue and her nails. And by the time she turned her, like she would like kind of wipe her brow with a nail or something or whatever she would do. And by the time she got to the end of that hair, as she wiped it, she turned to you and she would spit fire. She would spit fire. I It affected me, I guess, in a way that I enjoyed that this woman was sitting up here channeling and helping people, and she was real. She was real. She saw it her way. It was filtered through her experience, but from that, I got the foundation of yeah. Why is this always you can't be real? you know, when I mean real, like you can't just turn around to someone and use their experience. I think the older we get, it balances out the channel because we've lived within the channel so long that our experiences are now peppered. excuse me, are peppered through the channel. And so, yeah, I will be real with you. Now, does it real like some people are real and they're rude. No, I would never be rude to you, and I would never be unwarrantedly cruel to you. And if someone says, "Well, Lawrence, that was harsh," I will be the first to say it. This might be a little harsh, or that was it too harsh? Because I don't want to deliver a message and cause a scar. But sometimes you can tell why some people are really they're ready to hear it in a loving way, and they go like, "Yeah, I know." I'm like, "Okay, so let's move past that." I'm not gonna sit there with you and say, "Well, I know," and somebody told me. Okay, okay, I know somebody probably had to tell me 1,000 times before I accepted the truth. You know, the elders used to tell me. They used to be like, "Lawrence, they're not gonna believe you because you don't look like you have a whole bunch of money. Your people are not gonna believe you," and they were right. But what they did say after that, they said, "But you're gonna be authentic. Don't worry about that. That's a small price to pay. If you have to pay this price early in your career, remember, it's not how you begin, it's how you end." And that gave me so much inspiration to this day because they were 80s in. I was like 40 something, 45 or something. They were already in their 80s. And they said, "It's not how you begin, Lawrence, it's how you end." And I said, "Wow." They said, "So yeah," they saw it. They're like, "You're going to go through because you're not taking the beaten path like that. You're not taking that path that most um, men your age would take. You're taking a different path." And I said, "I know." And they said, "As soon as you showed up, we knew you were different. The way you responded, the way you hugged people, um, the way you were interested in the field. They used to tell me this is you're so interested in this field. I said I am enamored. I eat, sleep, and drink this metaphysical field. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? And they're like, yeah. They're like, you don't take classes. I said, no, I'm a doer. I need to be in the fair. I need to see you doing it with someone and then ask you after you do it with them. I don't need to be in no class where there's nobody that I need to do it. That's how I learned. And they taught me that. They were like, we didn't teach classes. You just showed up at a fair. You did a 6 hour. That was 6 hours of intense learning. 6 hours of intense learning. They were teaching me while they were working. And I was working next to them. But they would tell me, Lawrence, take a break. I'd be like, what? They'd be like, your eyes are blue. Oh, here's another thing. My eyes turn blue when I read. And they'll be like, your eyes are blue. And they would turn blue. You would think I have on You would think I have contacts. I was born with blue eyes. It's the weirdest thing. It's beautiful though. So if I work for like 5 or 6 hours, my eyes will turn blue, almost completely blue, almost completely blue. Sometimes you could see it in my videos. Sometimes if I'm working, you'll see that the rims of my eyes are blue. And they started that in the 40s. When I was in my early 40s, they started. It was small. Now, like I did Charlotte, and I looked into the mirror, and literally my eyes were almost all blue. I wanted to take pictures of it to show people, but people will tell me, "Oh, it's because of melanin you get and you turn blue." I'm like, "No, that's a spirit. You'd have to know it because the older ones taught me that. This is if you work too long, your eyes will turn blue." And I can't tell that to regular people. This is the first time I've ever actually told people. Um, I did. I've talked to it about it before, but not in depth. Like it just recently happened again, very strongly, because I literally work from Thursday to Sunday. So when the end of this Sunday, I came home. I was like, I just got people would swear I have on contacts. They were in the elevator asking me. They're like, I didn't know you had blue eyes. I said, yeah, but tomorrow they won't be. But right now they're blue. And they're like, How did you go upstairs with brown eyes and come down? Don't you turn my brown eyes blue? About your eyes. So don't freak out. And that's something that the elders taught me. They're like, we have blue eyes when we work. And I saw it. And I tell other people. I mean, it takes a moment, but when you see it happen, you can't dispute it. You can't. You can't dispute that. You look back and your eyes are blue. My eyes are blue. Blue. They will turn blue. And you can't dispute it. You really can't. It's the light that's coming from the inside out of me, the work. And I love it. I love it. Those are, and I've learned from the older ones. They said, "Well, Lawrence, when that happens, you're there. You're there. You're there. You're in the zone. You're in alignment. Go do it. The world is watching you have it all." I was so grateful that elders helped me, and I didn't even realize that I was being blessed. And then I, in turn, did what they did to me. I do for others. I will take them under my wing. I will take them under my wing. I will pour it into them because I know that if they had not poured into me, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have this scope that I have. So I pour into people that are. You got to be close to 40 though. I have one protege. He's not 40. He's 33, but he's special. He's a special guy. Um, but most of them are close. You have to be for me. Cause see, I can't. You can't be giving me my boyfriend and my girlfriend and my no no. You can't be giving that. And no, you can't be throwing out no tarot cards talking about I'm gonna give you a love reading. No, no. Mm-mm. I'm not built for that. I'm not that person. Although I did love readings, I did them in the beginning because it's just it's gritty work. It's gritty work, and goodness will it drain you. But you have to do that every so often. It's gritty. It's very gritty. I don't really like it. That's why I don't do love readings because I find people don't have accountability in this zone that we're in right now, and they want someone to tell them what they want to hear, and then they go into this. Is a very long thing. And what else you gonna say to them? It's like, listen, you're wasting your money with me. The problem is you. The call is coming from inside of the house. The problem's gonna always be you. And she said, "Why? What do you mean the problem's gonna be? Because first of all, you're attracting these people to you. So why are you sending us to a whole series of people that you've dated, as if you're not attracting this type of people to you? And we don't have time for that. Those are the people who do tarot cards over there. You go over there. Love you dearly, but you go over there. You don't get in this line. You don't get in this line. There's nothing. I'm not saying that you're not supposed to get help with your love life, but understand who's in front of you. See, a lot of people don't get who's in front of them until they step out of their lane, and somebody like me says, "No, baby, you're not. You you don't see no tarot cards. That's what I'm saying. You don't see no tarot cards here. Are you not aware? Just, oh no, I could ask me a question. Oh, I have a question. I want you to tell me how he's doing it. Will he marry me? If you don't get off in front of me, if you don't get out from in front of me, they're like, what? Long time? Be like, listen, leave. I love you dearly, but you are so unaware where you are right now. You're so unaware of where you are right now. You're so unaware of where you are right now. And I don't have time to, because I'm channeling. That's a psychic. I'm a channeler. I can be a psychic and a medium and an intuitive, but right now I'm channeling. So I'm holding the energy open. And my energy, that my channel does not going to allow me to just drop and focus this whole entire thing on you and why you and Steven ain't together. Understand what line you're standing in, and we appreciate you. This is not to be mean to you, but it is the boundary because there are people who actually need very serious questions answered. Very serious questions answered. They need to know why their dreams and what they're led, how they need to leave their job, their health. They need to know all the ancestral. They need to know all of that. And so I'm very serious about delivering those messages. I mean, this is what I was born to do. This is the only thing I do this so well. There's nothing else I can do. I mean, there are other things I can do, but I do this so well. You know what I mean? I'm really good at what I do. I'm good at it because the elders taught me. I'm good at it. And people are like, well, Lawrence, are you ego in that? No, no. I am telling you the truth. I'm good at it. Hey, Susan, I'm good at it. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm good at it. And I'm not telling you the truth that I haven't, not showing you proof. I'm saying that to you because sometimes you need to tell people, no, you're good at what you do. This little doubting your gift needs to go somewhere. You're good at what you do. You just need to do more of it, but you're good at it. You're good at it. And I always tell people, I'm like, if you're going to come to me, you're good at it because I got a whole team of people around me. You don't just come to me. I don't just run into you. I know my gift and my spirit so well that I'm not just meeting people randomly. The meeting is already assigned. It's already designed. And when it's time for you to have a meeting with me, you have it. I just tell you, be obedient when it is because I've got a lot of appointments. It's not that I can circle back around to you. So when you get that, as long as I need to see you, you're always going to, and you see people here do it right along with me. You see them here. They're like, as long as I need to see you. You best believe that. Like today, somebody got on live. I need to see you. Best believe I had a session. They was like, I was like, I know it needs to happen now. I'm okay. I'm available. I'm available certain times of the holidays. I am. This is my time. I offer my services when people are off. I have to tell people that work in the business too. They're like, I'm off of Christmas. I'm like, if you don't get your ass to work during Christmas and Thanksgiving, you could be off. And then right after that, you got to run into things. You got to run into Valentine's Day. Shoot, we might get a break in March because then we're going to hit Easter. I'm like, you don't, and then with summertime we retreat. So I was like, if you don't get out here and get to work during this time, people are like, well, Lawrence, I'm not ready. You got some soaps, you got some incense, you get it. Better go on out there and get it while they're home. While they're home and they can talk to you. I really do need to have a school. I honestly need to have a school. I just need a team of people who can process the information that I'm channeling. It's too big for me to do it and then create the school. I need people to process it with me as I channel it and take it from there. It'll come. the people that are supposed to help me with this mission will show up. They're probably right along with me now. I would not doubt that they're on this platform with me right now, on this live with me right now. I wouldn't doubt it. That's how world's been working. That's how God works with me. And it's because when I'm ready for it, and I'm ready for it, I'm ready for it now. I wasn't. I thought I was ready for it 10 years ago. And I'm like, no, I thought I was. I was so angry I was ready for it, but now 10 years later, I'm like, no, I'm ready for it now. I'm ready for it now. I've trained enough. I've helped enough, and I want to stretch my gift. You know, I like stretching my gift. I like challenging myself. I'm like, no, I want to stretch this. I want to stretch this. I'm going to get my body in there because right now I'm not up to the physical, energetic level to my gift, and I know it. So I have to go into a series of fasting, and I got to get myself together. Don't just think, oh, I'm a psychic. I don't have a bad health. No, you get your big ass on that damn, your big backness. That's how they tell you, your big backness on that ground. You better get your big back on that ground. I always tell, lay that big. I got a big back. Lay that big back on that ground and stretch out them chakras. Take a deep breath. Get those lungs. Get some air. We got to stretch this body. This energy is so intense. It's caught in our bodies now. It's in our bodies now. I always tell people like, nah, it moved out my head. Now it's in my body. I just need to lay out and stretch out. When I stretch it out, I breathe it more and I move it through my body. That's why right now it's always good to have mind people and body people in the same room. I'm a mind and body person, and because it's spirit, I'm into spirit as well. But I gotta have my body people with me because they stretch me out, and I'm like, oh, I feel it. They crack me out, and I'm like, oh, I feel it. The energy that moves through when you work with so many people, you need assistance with that. And I was thinking before that, okay, I may need some hot and cold treatments where I go hot and cold and hot because that triggers your intuition as well. The hot and cold. When you go hot and then you go cold and then you go hot and then you do cool, oh yeah, you can see past. You be sitting up there in 3010. But there are certain ways, certain directions. The West equals one thing because it's not that you want to see it all. You want to see certain parts of it. So there's certain things. But I'm saying that to someone on here who may need that and to try it out. Not to everyone because, again, I'm speaking to the one that knows I'm speaking to them. What's hot and cold treatment? Hot and cold treatments is when you get in the bath, you get in the shower, you go hot, and then you do cold, and then you do cool. But you focus on something. It's directionals. Chiropractors are getting more popular. That's right. I need me a chiropractor. You know what? You have said that. See, there you go. There you go. It's a chiropractor. Thank you. You see how my team just came right on in and told it. I need to go to the chiropractor. Someone already told me that too. They told me that last week. They was like, "I got a chiropractor for you, Lawrence. You're a little too stiff. Because I've been doing a lot of video work and I do my own videos, so I do everything. I do everything. When I came up, there was no. I had to do it all socks and drawers. Period. Socks and drawers. I had to do it all. So when you see people in this video, that's me filming, and they're like, "How are you channeling the film?" I put that little thing on my phone on a tripod, and I get it cracking. Again, if I had a team, I wouldn't have to do it, and I can focus on what I need to do. But right now that I don't have God has me doing it, and I'm good at it. My videos are good. My editing is shit. I'm getting good at my editing because I'm good at filming the spirit, and I'm a creative person, so I like to do the videos. I like to tell the story because I know the story. When people meet me, there's a story. Every video that I have is almost a small documentary. It's like a mini documentary. And so because they become lessons of class. And so I always tell people, go get you a camera, start filming your work because you have to leave record of who you are. Our descendants are going to see this. We're the first generation to actually live a physical, a video and audio record of our living, of our life from our mouth and our energy. So my grandson, my great grandchildren will see this. And they'll say, this is who my great grandfather was. This is what he did. And he's left so much information about who he is that I want them to say that I inspired them to be bigger and better than who they are whenever they're born because I chose to be greater than what was given to me. And I suffered for it, but I wouldn't do it any other way. I was always going to be greater than the plate that was handed to me. And I learned that early at 6 or 7, 8, that I knew I was going to be greater than the people that are around me. It's just something that I knew. And it continually confirms itself when I come into contact with some of the people in my past. I'm like, I just was never you. I just was never you guys. Or maybe I was, but wow, that was a horrible place for me to live with this. And so when they see me now, I have an expiration date when I'm dealing with people in my past. I 30 minutes tops. I gotta because you're not where I am, and you're gonna. There's a certain level of people become uneasy when you have not when you come from their experience, but you're not of their experience. They have a certain level of uneasiness around you because greatness will do that to people who are living in a mediocre life. And when I mean by mediocre life, I mean just a regular life. Greatness will do that, and it was doing that to us when we were young. So there's no need for me yet to be at this age and be in front of them. They'll see me on TV. They'll see me. They'll see me on the big screen. They'll see me, and they'll say what they need to say. Then they'll say, "Yeah, I remember him. I remember this and that." But there's no relationship that I should have with them, and neither, no, there's no love lost. I was never meant to fit into a group of. It's not even about fitting in. Also, just my environment was always about people being real, love. You know, I had, I got my boys. They've been with me forever. Since we've been 19, 20 years old, 22 years old. One was just on earlier, um, and they always supported me. And I've always supported them. I will always support them. Because I know who they are. I know how hard it is, and I've always had um, I've always had a resistance to me being me, but I never saw it as something I couldn't overcome. You know, I never saw it as something I couldn't overcome. And when I got into this field, again, I was not going to fit in at all. There was no room for uh, black people, much less a man. There was no room in the intuitive energy for a black man. I evoke fear. If you think about it, you'll. That's what I mean. Sometimes you have to think about it and say, "Oh yeah, here's a black man that's able to read minds. He's going to evoke fear from people." I said I'm able to read minds doesn't mean I'm going to read your mind. I don't want to read your mind. I think your mind is dirty right now, and I don't want to go into something dirty. I always tell people, "As long as you read now, I'm not. I don't turn nothing on. I don't want to see. I don't have that thing where, and I think that's why I have the gift because I don't have that where I'm a stalker. Like I don't want to know nothing you ain't trying to tell me. If I see it, I'm seeing it to heal it. But other than that, I close it up and keep going. And the universe knows that about me. They're like, this man will shut it up and keep moving. I tell people, you don't ask me. You better ask me now, because don't ask me a day later. Say, Lawrence, what did you mean by that? It's not there anymore. It's not there anymore. I don't store that. That would make me sick. I don't store your information in my cloud for you to ask me 2 days later a complete, detailed question. And I'm like, who who do you think told you that? Lawrence, I don't know, but you said. I said, no, baby. You can't come back 2 days later with a paragraph of questions when I asked you, are there any more questions? And you said no. I said, well, back then I didn't have any, and then you don't have one now because I can't go back there. I don't even know where to begin. And if you needed for me to go back there, I would have to get in that position. There'd have to be a whole nother session for me to go back in that energy. I'm not allowed to be. I'm not allowed to pull out information after I've closed the case because somebody wanted it. I'm not allowed to do that. It's dangerous for me. And then when people get it, they're like, "Yeah," I'm like, "Okay," and they get it. They really get it. They're like, "Oh, I have to ask. Yeah, you have to be in the because your guides are there too, and they're giving me messages. So um, you don't you want to ask as much questions. You want to write stuff down. You don't want to have a session with me and then don't have a pen and pad. You know, because a lot of times um, you think you're coming to see a psychic when you're coming to see a channeler or a medium. And so if you came to see a psychic case, you would say, tell me what spirit has for me. I said, but this is not what this is. This is not what this is. You got to put in a little something. So you got to have some questions, and they need to be detailed so that I can walk through them and see them myself. You're dealing. I'm on an oracle level, so you don't. You're seeing a. You going to see a psychic and going to see an oracle are two different things. Because I'm going to do your past life, your Akashic records, your ancestral. I'm going to do your galactic DNA. I'm going to read the water in your body, and all of that. A psychic can't tell you. A medium may not be able to tell you, but an oracle can. What makes a person an oracle is the amount of time that they spent servicing, um, intuitively servicing the planet. That makes you an oracle. It doesn't make you. You can't just decide after a year that you're an oracle. You're like, what? There's so many people. They be like, I'm like, no, man, you're not an oracle.